Well, we're knocking on the door. We knock on the door of the weekend a day early here on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast because we're off on Fridays and Saturdays. But we are knocking on the door of the Father's Day weekend, and there are going to be showery rains at times, but it's not a straight through all weekend long washout. At least that's the way I see it. But it is the infamous curse of the onshore flows. So let's get right to it here on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. And the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, if you'd like to support it, do your Amazon shopping using our referral link that's pinned to the top of the chat board. It's also on the descriptor to this podcast. Just search and shop, and Amazon throws us back a little bit of coin for sending you there, and it doesn't cost you 1 cent out of your own pocket. It's an easy, simple way to support the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, and it keeps the live stream commercial free, except for this one. And for this one, Tempest by Weatherflow. Get the revolutionary Tempest weather system, and you too can join the fastest growing observing weather network on the planet. The link is on the chat board somewhere. It's also on the descriptor to this podcast. Use the coupon code SUMMER 2025. And if you do, you will get
10% off.
So our Joe Rayo, well, actually, we should say good evening to everybody tonight on the chat board, and those of you watching in the background on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. And just a side note, Sunday is Father's Day, so as fathers and grandfathers, it's a heavy load for Joe and I to carry. Therefore, we will be taking Sunday off, and we will be back after tonight. We will be back Monday night. So you are apparently were the huge star tonight at the Northern New Jersey Weather Observers. You gave a talk.
No
And
brighter a star than you were when you gave a talk to the same club, I think, a couple of months ago.
yes, thank you. I did, and you did too. And I think there may be a few members of the Northern New Jersey Weather Observers either on the chat board tonight or perhaps they're lurking in the background. Either way, we welcome them to tonight's show. I have the radar is showing a little cluster of thunderstorms near me at the moment. So far, so good. Hasn't started raining yet, but I did notice it on the radar. They added a last minute marginal risk for me this evening. And they had a marginal risk for northeastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, and the lower Hudson Valley. And I did notice that there was a teensy weensy little thunderstorm that formed. Not an itsy bitsy.
Now, wait a minute. Were they teensy weensy or itsy bitsy?
Well, I would describe them as teensy weensy.
Okay.
If it was,
Because if it was an
if they
itsy
were
bitsy
any
storm
smaller,
or
they
a
would
teeny
be.
weeny storm.
Yeah, I mean, if they were any smaller, they'd be itsy bitsy. But I mean,
Okay.
when you look at it on the radar and encompass it in terms of how many square miles across eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England, I mean, we're talking 99% of the area didn't see a thing.
Exactly. And, even this morning, there was some talk that, there may be a locally gusty thunderstorm. I had mentioned that yesterday. I said for the front that is moving into and through our area right now. And again, you never know sometimes. Sometimes you get a localized area, even though just about all of the short-term guidance models were forecasting nothing to happen of any significance this evening or even into tonight. You still had to wonder, something may pop. And there's a little shower that, as I speak to you now, is heading for New York. I think it's over Newark right now, but it's diminishing as I speak to you now. So I may not even make it to the immediate New York City area. So I think what's going to happen, Joe, is that it's going to be dry tonight with just a buildup of cloud cover. Tomorrow we'll have a lot of clouds, but I still think tomorrow will be dry. And then finally, this front that I just alluded to is going to kind of subside just to the south of the New York metropolitan area, which is not a good place to subside, unfortunately, or slow down or stall, because Positioning that front where it will be means that that will set the stage for a buildup of moisture and also a buildup of possible wet weather, some rain, especially as the winds go into the east, coming in from off of the ocean. That onshore flow, which not only will mean an increasing chance of precipitation, but also an increasing chance it's going to turn quite a bit cooler here over the next 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah, I got to a couple of spots, got close to 90 today, or even hit 90. I think Kennedy hit 90 today. I didn't see whether anybody else did. I don't think the city got to 90.
Yeah, and in fact, Tom Contino on the chat board says they should recalculate the the instruments.
Why? Because the
At
number didn't come out the way you wanted it to? I mean, come on.
well, he feels. I guess he feels that it's 90 degrees
Yeah, I'll tell
should have
you
been
what.
hit at Central Park,
Yeah, but
at
Central, you
Belvedere
forget,
Castle.
right? Well, the Central Park thermometer is probably the only thermometer around New York City that's not sitting on a runway.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
So, I mean, it is going to be cooler. The numbers there are right. They know, they are going to be a little lower. And there's a huge difference between, there's going to be some differences between what the temperature is in the park itself as opposed to somewhere on the street.
And also, I think when he said it should be recalculated, I think is that the word he's looking for is recalibrate, not recalculate.
Right,
But
exactly.
you're right. It's in Central Park, for God's sake. It's not, as you pointed out, Joe, on a runway. Now, we have here on the chat board 93, according to Vincent Croce in Brooklyn. Question number one is the thermometer that was used properly shaded? Number two, it's Brooklyn, for God's sake. Was it in an urbanized area? If it was an urban area, a place that is surrounded by asphalt or paved surface, I mean, that's going to heat up and that could lead to hotter temperatures as well. The other question on the chat board from David Scott: do you see mostly cloudy tomorrow for the east end of Long Island? Yes, yes, David. I see. I didn't say mostly cloudy tomorrow. I'm saying considerably cloudy. It takes into account tomorrow whether the cloud cover will be thin enough so that you might be able to see a diffuse ball of light in the sky, which would be the sun, or a couple of pokes or breaks in the clouds, allowing you to see a little bit of sun. But for the most part, tomorrow definitely looks like a very cloudy day across much of the tri. No precipitation tomorrow, I think, but a very cloudy day coming up tomorrow.
Yes, and then yeah, I tend to think I tend to think maybe the longest period of rain for you is going to be Friday night into Saturday morning. And I think after that, it's probably going to be patchy stuff, and Sunday, it might wind up being that Sunday's a cloudy day, and maybe there's some little areas of patchy light rain or drizzle. But I don't see this as like nonstop, rain that occurs for 3 days.
I agree with you. It's not going to be a total washout, but on the other hand, if you're a dad like I am, or as Joe is, or a granddad, and you have a hammock that you would like to utilize on Sunday, just be advised that if you're in that hammock, that there could very well be, perhaps especially early in the day, perhaps a passing shower that'll get you a little wet. It
Yeah.
looks like that not an all day rain, but again, a little bit of precipitation to deal with on Sunday and Saturday, as Joe pointed out, probably especially early in the day, some wet weather, and also with that onshore flow. Joe, I think it's going to be tough on Saturday to make it above 70 degrees.
Oh, I agree. Now, it might be a little bit warmer in South Jersey and points southward, but yeah, it's probably going to have a tough time getting out of the 60s. You might be able to nudge up into the 70s. Well, the one good thing about this onshore flow setup is that it's under a ridge. It's not like we have a cold upper low in eastern Canada somewhere, or in Atlantic Canada, where you have chilly air that's being drawn southward and then coming in from off the ocean, where you'd be in the 50s. That's not that's not the type of setup that we have this time around. So and it's going to have that sort of muggy feel to it. All right, let's take a look at what's going on in the land of watches and warnings tonight. There are a few here and there. that are up. Severe weather watches tonight are in the plains, and we see severe thunderstorm watches up in extreme southeast Wyoming, extreme northeast Colorado, and in the pretty much the western half of Nebraska, and for a handful of counties into South Dakota. Flood watches that were up through Texas, northeastward into northwest Louisiana and Arkansas have now dwindled down to a few in southwest Arkansas. We've got excessive heat warnings for southern Arizona and parts of southern California. And then we have various air quality alerts that are up here and there. Uh, there are there are some thunderstorms around. You can see the lightning strikes on the satellite loop tonight. Uh, and in fact, I just heard some thunder here over me. And if you look on the satellite loop, there are some there are some lightning strikes going on nearby me. So hopefully they'll behave. Also, we're seeing some thunderstorms up and down Mississippi into western Tennessee, and you can see some thunderstorms breaking out in western Nebraska and into eastern Colorado, down into eastern New Mexico. It's just not a big severe weather night as far as warnings are concerned, but still, we've got some showers and storms. The one plus I think is for you, Mr. Rayo, this weekend is that the marine layer is probably going to keep thunderstorm activity at a minimum or not at all for Saturday, for Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yes, I would agree. The air is just going to be simply too cool and too stable to allow for the development of any kind of thundery weather. I think the next chance that we'll have of convection may not come until Wednesday or Thursday of next week because the front, and yes, I think it was David Scott who asked the question, is this a backdoor cold front? The front literally is right on top of us right now and is heading southbound. And probably will get to about as far south as the Delmarva Peninsula if it gets that far south. And the problem is that being hung up there will allow for some waves of low pressure to travel along it. Not major storms, but areas of low pressure that it will be accentuating or enhancing the threat of precipitation as it gets involved with that moist onshore flow to produce. I like to make the difference between rain and showers. To me, showers is a convective type of an event associated or affiliated with an approaching cold front, or when you're in a warm sector and you get these pop up showers and storms. Rain, on the other hand, is what you will probably be seeing here beginning tomorrow night into Saturday and part of Sunday. And that is just steady precipitation, light precipitation in this particular case. I don't see anything particularly heavy. Certainly, I don't think we're going to be seeing any flood advisories coming our way this weekend. But in the same token, Saturday, kind of a wet, dreary, damp day. Sunday, kind of a wet day, especially early in the day. Maybe, just maybe, later on Father's Day, Sunday, some breaks in the clouds and a little bit of sunshine, but still cooler on Sunday as opposed to what we had today, where temperatures in many localities were flirting with that 90-degree mark.
AAYYT on the chat board, new to the chat board, but he apparently was on your group when you talked to the Northern New Jersey Weather Observer, the New Jersey Weather Observers meeting tonight, and he's hit the tip jar. So thank you very much and welcome. I hope you come every night here on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. By the
I
way, on
said
the link,
I said at the NJWO meeting that we're on Sunday through Thursday, 7:35 each evening, except Fridays and Saturdays. I did not mention the fact, but you mentioned it already, that we're taking Father's Day off on Sunday because we're both daddies and granddaddies.
yes. By the way, on the radar, if you look really, really close, you can see that little speck of a thunderstorm that moved across Route 78 and then just basically fell apart as it approached Newark and Staten Island. So it's all but gone now. Meanwhile, you can see the area that is in Georgia, and there's some stronger thunderstorms to the northeast of Atlanta. Now I'm on the, if you go straight north to the very top of that cluster, south of the North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia state line, or southeast of that is where I am, and it is raining because I can hear the rain hitting the metal roof, although it's not raining very hard. There are some stronger storms back through Mississippi, and you see them there lifting northward, also in northern Arkansas, about to move into southern Missouri, and we have the occasional severe thunderstorm warning box that pops up there. Some storms off the coast of South Texas, mostly offshore, kind of skimming the coast between Port Aransas and Galveston, or actually Freeport and Galveston. And then we go out to the west in the areas in eastern half of New Mexico, and then of course up the I-25 corridor to Denver. Some showers and downpours along the way, some downpours to the west of Denver, some thunderstorms to the northeast of Denver, and this is where we have a heavier concentration of showers and storms and various severe weather warnings, including all severe weather warnings here that have popped up, severe thunderstorm warnings, and there's one flash flood warning that's popped up into northern Nebraska. Also seeing some cells tonight in northeastern South Dakota, eastern North Dakota, through Minnesota, with some steadier rain further east along along northern Wisconsin and the upper peninsula of Michigan. The map seems a little odd tonight. Okay, I see. I finally see where the state lines are. My eyes are not what they should be. The Storm Prediction Center tonight has the marginal risk that they have in eastern Pennsylvania and northern New Jersey and the Hudson Valley. That's all done. Marginal risk now in Georgia, western South and North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, another area from Louisiana through Mississippi, western Tennessee, and in eastern Arkansas. And then we have this area from eastern New Mexico northward with a slight risk in over Nebraska and into South Dakota, various areas of 2% tornado risks. So just an outside chance that you could see an isolated tornado or two. Tomorrow, we have a marginal to slight risk in the western plains to the northern Rockies. Not much else to the east other than a very broad area of general thunderstorms that extends to the east coast. And then for Friday into Saturday, I'm sorry, this day 3 here. Why is it they didn't put the date on? Oh, here we go. Saturday into Sunday. Marginal risk in the plains, and as Joe described earlier, from Maine down to Delaware, no thunderstorms are being forecast. You really have to kind of go southward in the southern portions of the Delmarva Peninsula in Virginia, west and south of there, where we have the risk for just some scattered general thunderstorms. No widespread activity, I think, is going to occur. And as far as rainfall is concerned, we're talking about in total through the next 7 days, a half to 3/4 of an inch for Long Island, southeastern New York, down through New Jersey and Pennsylvania, but some heavier rains of up to a few inches in Maryland and Virginia. And then it kind of arcs back through the Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley, and into the central Gulf states. Also, an area of several inches of rain being forecast for eastern South Dakota across much of Minnesota into Wisconsin, and very little is being forecast for the Pacific Northwest. So little fronts come through. There's not much with it, nor will there be much with it during the day tomorrow, but the onshore flow slowly begins to set up, and you start to see the European generating a little bit of moisture there by late morning and into early afternoon, and then it kind of goes away. But then we get into tomorrow night when there's a stronger surge of rain that comes through Friday night into Saturday morning. A little low there forms off the New Jersey coast, and you've got higher pressures up to the north. And you see there's another low there in southern Illinois, southern Indiana. That's going to move eastward. So in the warmer air south of the frontal boundary, you'll notice that there are areas of showers and storms in the lower Ohio Valley, the middle and South Atlantic states down into northern Florida. This is for Saturday afternoon and evening. And again, Sunday to me, yeah, there'll probably be some patchy areas of rain around, but I don't think it's going to be continuous. In South Jersey, southern Pennsylvania, and point south, maybe there's a chance that the rain will be a little steadier. But um, overall, I think it could be a lot worse. And then that kind of all slides out to the south on Monday, but we still have this onshore flow, Joe, that lasts into Tuesday before it finally breaks out. And then once that breaks out, then we got to see later next week when we've got a low heading to the western lakes and a cold front heading to the east coast that might bring some showers and storms around for late Wednesday and again late on Thursday.
I'm just looking at the chat board here, and still complaints from one particular person about the fact that Sam Champion is still wearing sneakers,
Oh, Jesus,
which we've
Mary,
already,
it's
we've already
you
and
know,
I mean,
Tom, do you
you've
have
already,
something?
you've already, I mean,
Oh, go ahead, Joe.
you've already given your reasoning why he's doing that. I have, even my wife has, but she still thinks it's unprofessional. And quite frankly, I don't care what the person is wearing on his feet, as long as he or she is providing me with good weather synopses or good weather information. The sneakers, I mean, if you've ever been in any one of those studios, those giant size studios, or if you've had to run across a building from where your office is to where the studio is, you're happy that you're not wearing regular shoes. Sneakers certainly will help you in that regard, providing comfort for you. And the other thing is that this individual is mentioning. He says that we're hoping. He says, "I hope we have a harsh winter on Long Island." Let me just say that, and I'm not going to speak for you, Joe, because I know you were a big snow lover. I certainly was a big snow lover as well. I stopped being a snow lover when I got married, finally had myself a house to deal with, and also had family to deal with. And there was one particular winter when we were up here where we had a siege of heavy snow. We lost power for like 3 or 4 days. And at that time, I did not have a generator. I have one now, but I did not have one then. And you do not want to be in a situation where you are in the midst of and I'll use the term that this gentleman on the chat board is using, wanting a harsh winter or a harsh siege of cold weather. You don't want to be in that situation when you don't have any electricity for any length of time. I have two fireplaces, and we went through an entire cord of wood during that frame to try to keep the house warm. And we had just about reached our final log when the electricity finally came back. Harsh winters, yeah, a snowstorm is fun. A snowstorm, you get like 3, 4 inches of snow or whatever, and it's nice and fluffy, and things look very nice outside and everything else. That's nice. That's fun of a thing. Harsh, when you have bitter cold temperatures, dangerous wind chills, snow up to your you know what, and you're stranded for days on end. No, no, that's
Right.
not fun.
Well, I will
If you
say the other part of this too, Joe, is the fact that as you get, you can tell who's over 60 and who isn't. Because when you get over 60 and when you get to these winters, I mean, I'm finding that because the winters here are cold, uh, they, especially this past winter, it was quite cold. They get a little harder to take, you know. They get a little harder to take as your numbers begin to go up. I don't know, your skin gets thinner as you get older. So anyway, look,
and
it's June. We're 6 months
there was one.
away from any worries of snow, so who cares? It's too early to worry about it. And Tom, I will just say that you seem to be spending too much time looking at Sam Champion's shoes. Okay. Just letting you know that because you said this the other day, now you're saying it again. Try to kind of put your eyes up a little higher on the screen. So this way you don't see
I
whether he's wearing shoes or sneakers. That's just of all things to worry about. Go scrub your toilet for Christ's sake. I mean,
yes,
Jesus Christ. Clean the bathroom. Do something instead of worrying about whether he's got sneakers or shoes or whatever. There, I said it, okay? I said it.
and I remember on the air having a little bit of an argument with a radio legend, Barry Gray. And Barry Gray, during an impending snowstorm, he said to me on the air on WMCA radio, he says, "You people, you must really enjoy this, don't you? That we're expecting a big, paralyzing, crippling snowstorm." And I answered back, I said, Mr. Gray, I was only, 22 years old. Barry Gray had been on radio for like 30 some odd years. I wasn't going to be calling him Barry right off the bat or whatever. But I said, I do not enjoy when we have a situation where, people can't go anywhere for 2 or 3 days or whatever, when you have so much snow. And he was arguing with me about that. He said, "No, you don't. You like this. You love this, don't you?" And finally, he ended the conversation. He actually ended it and cut me off right there. He said, "I congratulate you on being so obstinate." This is what you
Oh,
have to put up with
I know.
when you're a weather forecaster, right?
Yeah, it's very sad, but very true. Do I have Briller Jeopardy tonight, or do
I
you?
I will check to see if I have it.
I do it. I have it. I have it. I have
Oh,
it.
you have it.
Okay,
You
so
have it.
everybody, you ready? Because we're still on this June low kick. Okay, it's average June lows, Joe. And the first one, now we had Rochester, Minnesota yesterday, so we have Rochester, New York today.
And these are the average low temperatures now for June.
Correct. Correct.
58,
I'm sorry, say again.
58.
Very good. It's a good guess. It's a little too high, but a very good guess. And Rich Rothmansky hits it with 57. 57. So he only missed it by one.
There you
Tobes,
go,
I
Rich.
can't pronounce your last name. It also said 57. Richmond, Virginia. Richmond.
Richmond, Virginia. I
Mhm.
will say blah, 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 65.
Once again, very close. Vincent Croce's close at 67. David Fuller is close at 65. Rich Rothmansky nails it with 66. Boxcars, 66.
There you go, Rich.
And so did Frank Scalera. San Diego.
Oh God, San Diego. San Diego. How about 61?
You were smart to go low. You went a little too low, but you're smart to go low. Mr. Bonsai is at 64, is close. And Rich Rothmansky again bangs it away. He's 3 for 3, Joe, 63.
He's working on a perfect game.
Yes. Fran Francisco.
San Francisco. Well, San Francisco could be frigid in July
Sam Francesca.
because of the winds off of the bay. Uh, I'm going to go low for San Francisco. I'll say 50, 55.
You were right to go low. You went double nickels. You could have gone a little lower, though. David Scott at 54, and Carol DeCara gets it at 53.
There you go, Carol.
Rich broke his streak of 3 in a row. Miami.
How about for Miami? How about 74?
You were certainly right to go higher. However, you did not go high enough. Documenting America is close, and so is Harold Olson at 75. Rich Rothmansky, you're close at 77, so that means it is 76. Frank Scalera and Tobes, I can't pronounce your last name. 76, Joe. Okay, now here's the bonus tonight. Okay. Now I'm going to throw in, you have to get this within 15.
Uh-oh.
Okay?
Uh-oh.
You've got to get this within 15. All right, you ready? If you get it within 15, I'm good with it.
Mount Washington.
No, no. Vostok, Antarctica.
Oh dear. July. Now July is the beginning of their winter.
Right. So
June is the
this
beginning.
is the
June is the
average
beginning of the winter.
low.
Ah, how about minus 20?
Oh, you're not Jesus, Joe. You're not even in the same century with that number. Um, Actually, Rich Rothmansky, you're pretty close with minus 86, and Vincent Croce with minus 89. It's minus 92.
That's the average low.
That's the average low. Wonder what the average high is, considering it's dark 24 hours.
Oh my God,
Yeah, no, I don't, I can't visualize that. I can't, I can't wrap my head around it that cold.
yep.
I don't understand it. I can't grasp it.
That's why all of the tours, like my tour, go in December when summer is starting down there, and the temperature's only in the 20s to around 30.
Right, exactly. All right, I think we can wrap it up tonight. You've been talking since 7 o'clock, and I've been waiting for you since 7:30. So, so now it's we're approaching nine. Actually, we're past 9 o'clock Eastern time. So, um, I think we'll just say good night. Happy Father's Day to all the dads that are uh, on the chat board tonight and perhaps lurking in the background, and the granddads. And Joe, try and not do anything Sunday.
I will try.
Yes, let them make them
Have
leave
a
you. Make them leave you alone.
happy Father's Day, everybody.
Happy Father's Day. We'll see you on Monday, everybody, at 7:35. Good night.